We're back, everyone, and if you've just joined us, we are here today with Dr. William Walsh. This is a fascinating discussion on his new book, Nutrient Power. Heal your biochemistry and heal your brain. This is fascinating information and so important. I want everyone to sit back and listen. Later, take your notes, but you can get a copy of the DVD by calling in. You know how to do that. You've got to do this and help other people that you love. Dr. Walsh, I just can't thank you enough for coming to teach us this today. This is so important. Well, we were talking before the break about epigenetics.
Yeah.
What does that word mean?
Yeah. What's it mean?
Epigenetics is a word that most Americans have never heard of. Right. But 5 years from now, everybody will know about it because it's I believe, the new revolution in mental health and in physical health. We're now learning, and it has to do with gene regulation. We all have our own DNA, and we all have our genetics. It tells a lot about our personality and our color of our eyes and that sort of thing. But there are many disorders like schizophrenia, depression, autism that violate. We know that they have a genetic familial tendency. They run in families. Okay. But we also know that they violate the classic laws of genetics.
How do we know that?
We know that, for example, with autism. We know that, that if you take identical twins, if one of them becomes autistic, there's a 60% chance that the other will become autistic.
But not 100%.
It's not 100%. Like if one has blue eyes, the other one will have blue eyes. But if you look at fraternal twins, born in the same womb, if one of them develops autism, it's less than 10% that the other will.
So there's more than just genetics involved, has to be.
It is, and it's environment. And what we now know is that environmental insults can alter gene expression. And that's what epigenetics is all about. Okay. And we now know, for example, that cancer is primarily epigenetic. We now know, yes, and all the new cancer therapies are aimed at correcting these deviant epigenetic gene expressions. It has to do with gene regulation. Heart disease is epigenetic.
So what you're saying is in our genetic code, we may have a code for a condition, let's just say schizophrenia because it's Mental Illness Day, and yet in some people, it'll be quiet, this code. It doesn't dictate the course, but through epigenetic influence, the code is opened and allowed to be read and impart the effect on the person? Am I getting this right?
That's essentially right, and it has to do with your DNA that's inside every little cell in your body, and your DNA can coil and uncoil. It has to open up for gene expression to occur.
Okay.
And everything a gene does, it only does one job. It makes a protein. We've got more than 20,000 genes, and all they do is they make proteins. And what's important is that you have the exact same DNA, every cell in your body. But in every part of your body, you need different chemicals produced. Your liver, your kidney, your eyeballs, your skin. You need to have a different mix of these chemicals. So during the 9 months of a pregnancy, it's rather miraculous and wonderful what happens, but there are chemical tags that get put on your DNA that can turn on a gene or turn off a gene. Okay. And when that gets messed up, you can have a mental illness, you can have a cancer, you can have
Well, let's
whatever.
talk specifically about schizophrenia. And I'm reading your book, Identical Twins. If one of the twin has schizophrenia, what are the facts for the other one?
It's about 50% likely that the other will get it.
Is that what caught your attention, making you wonder, there's got to be something else here?
Yes, and there was data on schizophrenia and on depression and a little bit on autism. And it showed that it wasn't really life experiences and nurturing that was the main problem. Yes, you can mess up a child with a bad environment, but there's so much of a predisposition, and from birth a person is sort of headed in a direction. And it looks like a lot of it has to do not so much with the genes themselves, but with the way the genes are programmed.
I see.
And the good news is that we've been trying to do genetic therapies for years to change the genes of maybe Down syndrome kids, and that's been pretty much a washout. I mean, after 40 years of striving, it really hasn't succeeded. But it looks like you can change the deviant epigenetics and you can correct it.